It had almost been 11 years since Woodsboro went quiet. Then in 2022, the phone rang again because we need money. Scream 2022, the 5th film in the series, brought Ghostface back for a new generation, but it also brought something else. A little bit of closure, nostalgia, and some grief. And actually, I take back the first part. I don't know why I was being a hater. This movie is actually really good. It's part requel, remake, tribute to Wes Craven, whole 9 yards. It's actually really decent. I don't know why I started out a little negative like that. So let's get right into it. So the movie opens the only way a Scream movie should, with a phone call and an attack. You have a young girl, Sam Carpenter, home alone, and the voice on the other end is very familiar, playful, and wrong. It's Ghostface. He says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" Of course, and she talks about the Babadook, about how elevated horror is now kind of the new age thing, and how old slashers are too predictable. And that's kind of the joke that Scream 5 knows that this audience isn't the same as 1996. Then that's when the game begins. You have doors lock, unlock, text messages buzz, and suddenly we're back in a world that feels familiar until it doesn't. Ghostface attacks, Tara's stabbed again and again, but she lives somehow, and that alone changes the rules, because she didn't die in the opening this way, and in Scream, the opening kill always dies, but not this time. Meet Sam Carpenter, Tara's older sister, estranged, troubled, and hiding something. When she hears about the attack, she returns to Woodsboro, a town that's moved on but never fully healed. She brings her boyfriend Richie, who claims he's never seen a stab movie before, and spoiler, that's never a good sign. And the new friend group is pure 2020s energy. You got Mindy and Chad Meeks Martin, Randy's niece and nephew, who are the new meta mouthpieces. You got Wes Hicks, Dewey's godson, Amber, Tara's best friend, who's very intense, obsessive, and always around. They represent a world raised on sequels, live streams, and endless commentary, a generation that's grown up watching people die on camera. And then he is back. Dewey Riley, older, broken, living alone in a trailer, divorced from Gale, retired from the force, a man who survived too much and lost even more, and he loses a lot more in this film, unfortunately. When Sam and Richie show up asking for help, he hesitates, then he looks at the TV, sees another Ghostface attack, and knows he can't walk away. After talking to our girl, Sidney Prescott. And there's always two killers. You can't trust the love interest. It's one of the best Dewey moments in the series. He's very grizzled, funny, and also kind of sad and familiar at the same time, like that old friend that you left behind. Dewey calls Sidney, like I said, she's moved on, living peacefully, raising kids. It's very implied. I think they're confirming now in the third one. She has 3 technically. And he warns her. It's starting again, she says. She says, "I'm Sidney Prescott." Of course it is. At a hangout, Mindy delivers the new rules. We're in a requel, a reboot that's not a reboot, because you got legacy characters mixed in with new blood, very much like the new Star Wars and how multiple other new movies are doing that. Anyone connected to the originals is a target. It's a brilliant commentary that Scream 2022 mocks the modern obsession with legacy sequels, movies like Halloween 2018, which they kind of made fun of by having this also be called just Scream, which I think is still stupid. I get it was kind of funny, but I don't, nah. Self-awareness isn't just clever, it is the whole point of this film. The franchise is evolving while dissecting its own evolution. Wes Hicks and his mother are murdered in broad daylight.
I promise!
It's shocking, fast, public, and brutal. Then Dewey and the new cast regroup at the hospital, and Ghostface unfortunately strikes again. That's when it happens. Dewey goes back to make sure the killer's dead, to shoot him in the head. He aims his gun, and Ghostface kills him and whispers, "It's an honor."
An honor.
Well, I guess technically 2 stabs. He's like holding him up. Doesn't make sense how he picks up him, considering who kills him by the end of this. But Dewey falls. It's very sad. He's kind of dead almost instantly when he falls. You see his eyes. And it's the franchise's emotional breaking point. It's very much the Han Solo death of the episode 7. The rules of the requel are very clear. To move forward, the old have to die. Dewey's death brings Sidney back to Woodsboro, not to run, but to finish it. She reunites with Gale at the crime scene, and their chemistry of having that grief mixed with old friendship is raw and real. You got 2 survivors bound by shared trauma, and now we have 1 person down from our core 3 group as always. They meet Sam, who reveals her secret, that she's the daughter of Billy Loomis. Yes, that Billy Loomis. The vision she's been seeing of him are her inherited darkness, the part of her that fears she's destined to become the monster. And it's Scream doing what it does best, turning legacy characters into a curse and trauma into storytelling fuel. The finale takes us right back to where it all began. You got Stu Macher's house, the scene of the first massacre, a party disguised as a tribute to Wes Hicks, and a wink to the late, great Wes Craven. Sidney and Gale arrive, guns drawn. They're not running this time, they are hunting. Inside, the mask drops. The killers are revealed to both be Amber and Richie.
That really was the best choice for the movie.
Their motive is that they're stab movie fans, angry that the recent movies suck, and they decide to reboot the franchise the only way Hollywood listens, with blood. It's insane, funny, and frighteningly believable, honestly, and you can't have a proper franchise without legacy characters, and they're quote-unquote giving the fans what they want. They're not just killers, they're toxic fandom personified. The final showdown is pure chaos. Sam embraces her inner Loomis, stabbing Richie over and over in a brutal cathartic reversal of the original. Sidney and Gale burn Amber alive. Legacy and New Blood fight side by side, and this time they all walk away. The last shot of this film is paramedics loading survivors in the ambulances, Sidney refusing an interview, and Gale saying that she'll write a book, not about the murders, but about Dewey. The curtain closes on 25 years of carnage, and for the first time it feels like peace, but you know there's not, because we have two more franchises, or entries in the franchises to cover. And this film is not just a reboot, it's more of a handoff. It honors Wes Craven while proving that the story can survive without him. The directors of this film understood what Scream really is. It's a movie about stories, trauma, and the people who refuse to stop fighting back. It's about generations of survivors and how the rules keep changing, but the fear never really does. For me, Scream 2022 is a clever, bloody, and surprisingly emotional sequel. It's not just another chapter, it's a bridge between some eras, and it reminded fans why Scream still matters and why Ghostface will never stay buried for long. So with that, that is Scream 2022. Next time on the Woodsboro Files, we're going global, because Ghostface is going global, and no one's safe, not even New York.
I prefer animated films and musicals.